Cellular respiration. Learning objectives. Identify how organisms get energy. Explain how cellular respiration works. And explain the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Food provides living things with chemical building blocks needed to grow and reproduce. Food molecules contain chemical energy that is released when their chemical bonds are broken down. Organisms get the energy they need from food. How much energy is actually present in food is quite a lot, although it varies with the type of food. Energy that is stored in food is expressed in the units of calories. A calorie is the amount of energy needed to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Cells can use all sorts of molecules for food, including fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. The energy stored in each of these molecules varies because of their chemical structures, and therefore their energy storing bonds differ as well. Of course, cells don't simply burn food and release energy as heat. Instead, they break down food molecules gradually, capturing a little bit of chemical energy each step of the way. This enables cells to use the energy stored in food, like glucose, to synthesize compounds such as ATP that directly powers the activities of the cell. If oxygen is available, organisms can obtain energy from food by cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process of energy conversion that releases energy from food in the presence of oxygen. Although cellular respiration involves dozens of separate reactions, an overall chemical summary of the process is remarkably simple. Cellular respiration requires oxygen and a food molecule such as glucose, and it gives off carbon dioxide and water and energy. Cellular respiration captures the energy from food in 3 main stages: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. Although cells can use just about any food molecule for energy, we will concentrate on just one example, the simple sugar glucose, as we go through the steps of cellular respiration. In the first step, glycolysis, glucose first enters a chemical pathway known as glycolysis. Only about 10% of its energy is captured to produce ATP during this stage. In fact, at the end of glycolysis, about 90% of the chemical energy that was available in glucose is still unused. Looking in the chemical bonds of the molecule called pyruvic acid. In the second stage, pyruvic acid enters what's called the Krebs cycle, where a little more energy is captured. In this stage, carbon dioxide is let off as a waste product. The bulk of the energy, however, comes from the final stage of cellular respiration, the electron transport chain. This stage requires reactants from the other 2 stages of the process. How does the electron transport chain extract so much energy from these reactants? It uses one of the world's most powerful electron acceptors, oxygen. Oxygen is required at the very end of the electron transport chain. Anytime a cell's demand for energy increases, its use of oxygen increases too. Most of the energy-releasing pathways within cells require oxygen, and this is the reason we need to breathe or respire. Pathways of cellular respiration that require oxygen are said to be aerobic. The Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain are both aerobic processes. Even though the Krebs cycle does not directly require oxygen, it is classified as an aerobic process because it cannot run without the oxygen requiring electron transport chain. Glycolysis, however, does not directly require oxygen, nor does it rely on the oxygen requiring process to run. Glycolysis is therefore said to be anaerobic. Even though glycolysis is anaerobic, it is considered part of the cellular respiration process because its final products are key reactants for the aerobic stages. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. In contrast, the Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain, which generate the majority of the ATP during cellular respiration, take place in the mitochondria. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration can be thought of as opposite processes. Photosynthesis removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and cellular respiration puts it back. Photosynthesis releases oxygen into the atmosphere, and cellular respiration uses that oxygen to release energy from food. The global balance between cellular respiration and photosynthesis is essential to maintain Earth as a living planet. Another necessity is a constant input of energy into the system. This input comes from the sun. You can trace the flow of energy from the sun to organisms that perform photosynthesis and then to the series of organisms that perform cellular respiration.